What do you think makes a rural person different from an urban one?
But I think, straightforward, to be honest. I think straightforward and pleased with what he got. He's satisfied with where he is and what he do. And I think, this is, is satisfaction, really. Generally, I mean, when in my younger days, when you had a job, it was a job you liked, which is different now. I mean, you've got a job that's going, whether it's, I mean, you can't get in a trade and make sure they last your lifetime. But when I was, as I said, a youngster, the people, we knew the carpenters, we knew the farmers, they're all fishermen, they're all special people that lived together. And I remember, in the cove and things, if there's bad weather and they caught in the cove, everybody would assemble down there to help them in. Which, don't whether they're carpenters or farmers or anybody. I mean, that was the thing, is communal between each other, which I think you would miss in a town. I'm sure you would, because, I mean, in the town where my wife came from, Penzance, which is a big city, but they didn't know the next door neighbour. Like we, I mean, we knew everybody in the parish. Everybody knew us. So I mean, it was community together, really.
Would you say that has changed in the Cove?
Oh, very much so now, mother. Very much so, because I think it's about 10 houses there. There's summer lets. So the chaps there fishing, there's only one that live in the cove now. They live outside because their wives are working now. Well, otherwise there wouldn't be a living here in the cove. And that have changed things. That have changed things because, I mean, people say to me sometimes, oh, shame all these summer lets in cove and around the parish. But they wouldn't be occupied because they had no work. Kilmarnock's closed down, say 50 lost jobs there. Well, you can't afford that in a small place like Pemberth.
Now we are living down, or you are living down on the coast, which is we are quite a long way from the nearest town. Population expansion is going to take place in the future. Would you object if more houses were built in the Cove?
Yes, I would, to be honest. I would. I think we got enough buildings there now, really, because if you go around and have a look at all the farms where they got cow sheds and piggers and all, they're all made into houses now to let. So I would say for the population, we got plenty of houses. I wouldn't build towns and spread them out over the countryside, to be honest. I'd keep a little place, part of England, that's sacred.
Have you seen any change in the Cove that you particularly dislike?
Well, as I said, I do dislike the boys living away from the cove, and I dislike, if I speak the truth, all these summer lets. It's a pity the boys couldn't afford to live in the cove and work from the cove, because now at night time has come bad weather, they're living away, they wouldn't know the boats was washed away, whereas years ago they all lived in the cove. Bad weather got up in the night, they'd be all out and pull the boats up. So it has upset that side of the job.
Now going back to your childhood, could you describe for me the house that you grew up in?
Yes, we lived in the Coast Guards shifted from here up to Treen, which is only about a mile away, and the houses became vacant and they were bought by the landlady, and we lived in there. No electric, no sanitation, no bathroom or anything like that. We had a tin bath and had a bath in that, but very primitive when you look back now. No fridge, no nothing, nothing like now. And mother we had a Cornish slab, and that was blackened every Saturday, shined up, and they took great pride in there. Their house was the same as what I think of my house now. I mean, in that day and age, you didn't have bathrooms, you didn't have this, but they took great pride in their house. I mean, my house was my home, to be honest.
What would you say is the main difference between that house and the one you're living in now?
Well, I was going to say, now it is, you've got to be honest, much more comfortable eating and things. I mean, only the slab, but no, it is much more comfortable now. And another thing, no one had a garden. I mean, there weren't no garden centres or anything when I was a boy. I mean, nobody had a garden. They might have a few lettuce or something in the garden. There was no flower gardens. That's only come about since the war, to be honest. So we never had no garden. Just my father used to till 2 or 3 potatoes or something in the garden. That's all. There was no flowers at all. No flowers at all then.
Would you say that it's an important thing to actually own your own home?
Yes, very much so now, at my age. I mean, I was silly, really. Because when I think about it, we had a marvellous landlady. When I was married, which is 53 years ago, our house, this house, which is a good house, 3 bedrooms, this one, they got shower and things, but what was I going to say was, my dear, this was £11, 10 shilling a year, the rates and the rent. The poll tax now is £750 a year here, and our rent is about £40 a week. So that's the difference. That's how I didn't build a house. But my both brothers built their own, or got their own houses. But that was the biggest mistake I made. And I always say to people, to working people, that's the only thing they ever own in their life. And to set out, when they're youngsters, to get a house of their own. And then you say, right, I shut the door and that belonged to me, which I can't hear. I'm very well off here, really. But as I said, you know, my rent could go up another £100 next year, and I couldn't do nothing about it.
Would you ever want to move away from this location?
No, my dear, I wouldn't. I'd hate to move away. Do you know, after the war, when I came back from the war, I'd been away 4.5 years, I said to them, they could barbed wire me this side of Penzance. I shouldn't want to move no more. Now, it's Ebonmere, really.